All right, now that we have our cable run up into the front compartment under the rocker trim here, we're going to remove the glove box. This is where we're going to mount the dice control unit back up under the glove box. This is easy to remove. Then we'll finish running the cable behind the trim panel here up behind the glove box. Glove box has 5 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we'll remove these lower ones first. Behind the strap on this side, these are Phillips head screws. One more screw right here, right underneath. Now it'll pull right down like this. We can just leave the wiring connected here for the lights and the switch. Next, we'll finish running our interconnect cable under the trim, right up in here and into the glove box. And as we come to the top of this panel, we'll end up in the area that's physically behind the glove box. So there we go. Now the cable is fully routed up behind, and we're in the area behind the glove box. All right, now that we have the glove box down, our cable is routed here up behind the trim panel. We're going to mount the media bridge control unit in this panel here. This is used by BMW for various control units depending on the options of the car. They go in these various slots. We conveniently have them open to put our media bridge control unit into one of those slots. Easy fit. Now with the control unit, on the front side, this is our plug for the control wire, USB plug, which is used for the iPod connection or a USB connectivity device. And here's our auxiliary input, which we would use if we were connecting this up to a non-iPod or non-iPhone device, such as a regular MP3 player or a phone that doesn't have, that isn't an iPod, and we want to play our music through here. We'd use the auxiliary port, which we play off of the headphone port on our device. This connection is for the microphone, for the phone unit. On the back side, this is the USB port we would use at the computer for updates to the unit. And these dip switches are used to control the display output for the radio in the car to see what we show on the display. Read the instructions on how to set those dip switches depending on the radio that you have. So we will first plug our main control cord in, like that. And we're going to insert the unit right up in the top open slot here. You can use any of these that it'll fit into. On this particular unit, it'll fit here or here. This one and this one are too small. Now we coil up our cord. And we're going to use one of these other open areas for the cord. And just gently get the cord into place there. This will all be behind the glove box, so it's nice and clean. Okay, so there we go there. Now, this particular application is going to use an iPod device, so we'll be sure to connect the iPod cord. And we have this here. This cord comes with the kit. We'll connect here with the proper end. There we go. And plug in there. And this particular car, we're going to also install the auxiliary cord so that we have various options as far as input. This owner has a non-iPod phone, an Android phone, as well as an actual iPod. So the iPod would be used through the USB. The Android phone would be used through the auxiliary. So we have those two cords. This owner would prefer the cords to be run inside the glove box, and the devices will just stay there. He can pull them out, lay them on the seat, or leave them in the glove box. However, we do have some other connectivity options. We'll show you those in a second. Now this unit here is a G2 cradle by the makers of the Media Bridge. This is a hard mount unit, and your iPod simply mounts in it. The cord runs right up to the back of the unit, so we could run this cord behind the glove box, underneath this edge of the center console, and out into any of the areas on the center console. This unit could be mounted anywhere you like, along the sides, on the dashboard, on the center console. And that gives a nice place for the iPod if you wish to mount it that way. As we had noted, these cords are simply going to run into the glove box. You could also run these cords without the cradle under the console and up into, say, the ashtray area, or the area in the center of the glove box on this particular car, which is just a storage tray. So with that, we're going to coil up these cords, make them nice and neat, and get them into the glove box. All right, now our final connection, if we're going to be using it, is the microphone for the Bluetooth phone. This plug goes right in on the side of the Media Bridge control unit. Now normally you'd want to have the microphone either in the center console area or on the driver's area, which a convenient spot is on the A-pillar, on the bottom of the instrument cluster, or right above the windshield. Running the cord is fairly easy. This application is not going to use the phone, so we're not going to run that, but we would run from the plug through the glove box, behind the heater duct here, and again, tucking the cord up under the side of the center console, pull the ashtray, go through to the other side of the center console, under the driver's side dash by pulling the lower trim panel just like we pulled the glove box, and then working around the side and up the A-pillar. Very easy to do, just takes a little bit of time. Okay, now we have our wires coming down just above the top of the glove box. There's just enough room for the wires to come over the top when we mount it up. We have enough wire in here on the USB cord to use the iPod device out of the glove box in the driver position. And our auxiliary cord, this one is a short one, so it'll stay near the glove box anyway, but if you had a longer one, do the same thing so that you can hold the unit in your hand if you wish. Now we simply pull the glove box back up into position, tucking our wires in. There we go. And these tabs on the back of the glove box go right up high above a ledge here that actually has felt on the front. That's our locator there. We have this hook and this hook, which go right up above these edges on the glove box here. Those are all our locators. So let's get this up into place. Up high in the rear, push in, get the front hooks into place. And you can tell you've got it because it'll stay up on its own. We'll install the screws. Remember, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the final one right down here. And at that point, we'll be complete with the physical part of the install. Remembering that if we're using this for the phone, we will run our microphone, and we'll show you a quick routing on that. All right, now we're going to show you the basic routing of the microphone cord for the Bluetooth phone unit. We would run the cord out of the glove box And under the console here, on the other side, under the console edge, into the middle of the console. We can access that by pulling the ashtray out and coming through under this side, coming up under this side of the console, just tucking it up underneath. Up underneath the panel here, just drop the center panel. Easy to run the cord underneath. And around to the edge of the dashboard here. We can then tuck the cord right up under here and up to the A-pillar between the door gasket and the A-pillar and mount the microphone. We could also come around the other side of the A-pillar and tuck it in along the windshield and come up and get the microphone anywhere on the A-pillar or even across on the top here. So probably about, in removing panels and running the wire, you're probably talking about another half hour to an hour of work to get the microphone in, and very easy. An alternate as well would be, as you come up under the panel here, bring the cord up and mount the microphone on the top of the steering column or the bottom of the instrument cluster. That would work just as well. At that point you're all set, and you just have final setup of the unit according to the instructions that come with it. With that, it's all set. You're ready to play music. You're ready to have your Bluetooth phone. Pretty sweet.